Hey, it's Chris. A lot of people think of this as an iPad-focused channel. It's not really how I think of it. It's more of an Apple-focused channel generally, but how can I sit here and ignore the exciting rumors, or the interesting rumors, or the scary rumors, depending on who you are, about the new iPad Pro coming out potentially as early as next month. Today, we're gonna talk about what we, as the Daily Tech community, would like to see in the new iPad Pro. We're gonna talk about what the rumors tell us we're gonna get in the new iPad Pro, and then we're gonna talk about what we know for sure we're gonna get in the new iPad Pro. On social media, I put out some feelers asking what you guys would like to see on the new iPad Pro, and a lot of people told me the dynamic island. They would like to see the dynamic island come from the iPhone 14 Pro lineup to the new iPad Pro, which I actually think would be pretty cool, but I do think it would be funny if that happened because it would be purely software, because the camera is hidden in the bezel on the iPad, right? If it does come, it would be really ironic actually, given that the dynamic island exists on the iPhone, to make use of some dead space around that front-facing camera. I got a ton of comments from people saying they want that front-facing camera moved to be centered horizontally in landscape mode. I don't think there's any iPad Pro user that doesn't want this. I mean, Samsung has it. They've already figured it out. Of course, they did it with a notch, which no one likes. But here's the thing, with Apple's Magic Keyboard positioning the iPad in horizontal mode by default, it just doesn't make sense to have the camera over on the left and have to have people looking over to the side. After the camera placement, I think the thing that I saw the most from people is that they want better battery life. Well, better battery life and faster charging. I guess I saw both of those things, and I get it. I would like that too. The current 12.9-inch Pro, the best that you can buy, currently has basically a 41 watt-hour rechargeable battery. Now, I could be wrong, but just based on the history of how things go, I would expect Apple to come out with their marketing and say, look, we made the screen brighter, and look at all these little improvements that we've made, and somehow, beyond expectation, we've managed to keep the battery life, that same all-day battery life that you already enjoy, and kind of spin it into, wow, it's amazing that it gets what it already got. Got several comments from people saying they would like to see more ports, specifically more USB-C ports. And you know, we already have a Thunderbolt port on the Pro, which is definitely cool for hooking up to an external drive, but you're still gonna have to be messing around with things like hubs and docks and whatever if you want to use the new iPadOS Stage Manager feature on an external display, for instance. So yeah, give us another port. I mean, it's Pro. Definitely saw some comments where people were wanting an OLED screen this year. Of course, right now, the Pro has a Liquid Retina XDR display. It's a mini LED display, and it's not bad, at least on the 12.9-inch, which is the only model that got that mini LED display last round. I would expect this year, no OLED. Instead, the little iPad, the 11-inch, is gonna end up getting that upgrade as well to catch up with the 12.9-inch. But if you like that 11-inch size, I mean, that is a nice upgrade. There's a little bit of blooming around like white text in a dark room if you're watching some HDR or something, but honestly, it's much better than what we had before. It's not OLED. I would rather have OLED, but I think that's coming next upgrade cycle. Well, the next upgrade cycle. Mr. Sakali has requested a larger iPad size, 16 inches perhaps. I personally always go back and forth between, do I want the 11, do I want the 12.9? How mobile is mobile? You know, shave off as much weight as possible, get that 11-inch, that's great for stashing in the backpack, but then when I'm at the desk, I always appreciate that bigger size. So it really is a trade-off. But that said, I would love to see a bigger 16-inch iPad, see how it handles, even a 15-inch. And I keep saying, imagine if we had a 27-inch iPad that just lives on your desk, kind of like an iMac, because you look at the iMac and it kind of looks like an iPad, doesn't it? I mean, who wouldn't go for an iMac-sized iPad that works with the Apple Pencil that you can actually touch? That sounds pretty cool to me. Obviously, it's not portable. It's not meant to be portable, which would be a big break from what an iPad has always been. This is gonna come someday. I mean, it's just a matter of time. The reason I say that is, look at this tweet from Editor's Keys. It says, since the MacBooks have gotten so good again, I barely use the iPad now. Honestly, I'm not sure if there's much that they could even add at this point to make me wanna upgrade my 2018 Pro. Exactly, some big changes need to happen at some point. And what crazier change could there be except an enormous, huge, giant, desk-based iPad. As long as we're talking about changes coming to the iPad Pro, you might want to think about changing up your wallpaper on any of your Apple devices using a Daily Tech wallpaper pack. It's linked up down in the description. All right, let's get to the rumors. We're gonna use Mac rumors for this particular roundup. So Bloomberg reports that the iPad Pro could see a new glass back design, same shape and everything, but glass instead of aluminum, which would allow for a wireless charging setup. The question, of course, is how would that work with the Magic Keyboard? We got a lot of Magic Keyboards floating around out there. People love the Magic Keyboard. I love the Magic Keyboard. Can't do without it. So if I have to take it out of the Magic Keyboard to do this wireless charging, I'm not going to be happy. So Apple has to solve that if they're going to bring wireless charging. Bloomberg has also stated that we could see reverse wireless charging this year, which presumably would be for allowing you to charge your AirPods or your iPhone on your iPad. Now, doesn't make sense if it's anywhere other than on the Magic Keyboard, in my mind. Yes, it could be on the back of your iPad with the screen down, but that makes no sense in the real world. Of course, wireless charging is slower than wired charging, so there's that. That's not necessarily an upgrade, but I have to say, I don't charge my AirPods, for instance, with a wire anymore. It's never connected. So it's kind of a matter of convenience over speed. The rumors also say we could see a pair of new 4-pin smart connectors versus the current 3-pin smart connector setup. And this, I think, is where Apple has to be pretty careful not to step in it. So if they come out with this, I'm sure they're doing it for a good reason, to bring us some cool new features. But if this ends up meaning that people who spent $300+ on a Magic Keyboard that works perfectly well right now can't use it on the new Pro, people are going to be pretty upset about that. One thing I don't see changing in the near future is me using a paper-like screen protector. Always like a paper-like when using my Apple Pencil. But a recent video allegedly showed a 3rd-gen Apple Pencil that was glossy and had a redesigned tip. Now, I like the finish of the current Apple Pencil. It's kind of matte. It's so much better in my mind than the original Apple Pencil, which did have kind of a glossy, slippery finish. Doesn't write as well at all. So I don't like the sound of glossy, or I guess you could say smooth finish. Not a big fan of the old smooth finish. But we have had the current V2 Apple Pencil for almost 4 years now, so it's about time for a new design. Now, obviously, if the new Pros are about to come out, we're definitely gonna see the M2 inside, which is great. I mean, the M2 is supposedly 4 times faster than the M1, according to Apple. But what are we gonna do with all this power? I mean, the iPad Pro is already so fast. It's such a beast already. It's like overkill at this point without Pro apps. See where I'm headed here? And actually, a lot of people requested this, and I didn't mention it earlier because I wanted to talk about it here. If we don't get Pro apps soon, things like Logic, things like Xcode, things like Final Cut, what is all this power about? All right, so I'm looking at the press release from the last iPad Pro. And I think looking at what Apple announced the last time there was a new Pro is gonna give us a good idea of what we can actually expect in reality, rumors aside, when the new Pros hit. So here's the headline from the last press release. Apple introduces new iPad Pro featuring breakthrough M1 chip, ultra-fast 5G, and stunning 12.9-inch Liquid Retina XDR display. So short answer, what are we gonna get? We can expect iteration. But what we can definitely expect, I would say, would be some small steps, small progress, rather than a huge giant leap. So I would actually expect the press release for the next iPad Pro to read very similarly to this last one. This headline focused on more power and speed and a better screen. Because at its core, what is an iPad? It's a big screen with some power under the hood. So, you know, we gotta take these rumors with a grain of salt. Obviously, sometimes they pan out, sometimes they're kind of close to the truth, sometimes they completely missed the mark. So I'm excited to see where this goes. Obviously, I'm a big iPad fan, have been, will be, I think, into the future. So unless something super disastrous gets announced. But anyways, thanks for watching, just hanging out here. Apple people talking Apple stuff. Don't forget to check out the Daily Tech wallpaper packs. They're linked up down below. You can sign up for notifications when my new productivity course launches. That's also linked up down below. There's a newsletter and a podcast, all of which is designed to make your life as somebody who likes Apple stuff better. So check it all out, and I'll catch you in the next video. Later.